Lola takes in the sun in Lake Worth Beach, a journey along J Street. Murals, sidewalk dining, but something is missing. Her younger brother.
One of his favorite spots right over here.
Tú y yo, un gran amor, un gran amor.
Esto es increíble.
Memories of Benny on home video now.
Benny sat over in that corner in the mornings, every morning. When I used to come look for him, he was sitting there and I just wanted to kill him because I was like, Benny, what are you doing sitting like that? He said, I'm waiting for my boss to pick me up.
Estoy aquí para quererte, que como yo, nadie te amó.
Born in the Dominican Republic as Bienvenido Geronimo Schoborg, his first name means welcome in Spanish. Benny's family moved to New York in 1974. He spent the last 19 years in Florida.
Benny was loving human being who was always looking out to love and to take care of people. They just loved his eyes. They loved him because he was the image of love.
Like the love he shared with the dogs at this grooming business where he'd often help out.
He was an amazing person. That's why I can tell. I don't have one little thing to tell bad about him, because he was a giver. He had the gift of love. That's what he had. He did. The gift of love, the gift of cure, goodness, kind. Me and Benny was just like this. We have a boarding. So at nighttime when he stays and he sleeps there in the bed, all the dogs come to him. Open the fence. I was very single one. They don't even fight. They don't not, because he was so nice. Hey, you. And then he tell stories like talking like a human.
His friends say Benny shared all that goodness and kindness here on J Street, his home.
This was the street. J Street was his street, and I don't think we knew, any of us knew how many people he touched until he passed, sadly.
He was a homeless individual here that just took this neighborhood as his real neighborhood. So we are driving downtown Lake Worth Beach on South J Street.
Debra Providence Robert would take him around on her golf cart.
The house lounge here over on the corner, they just were established about 6 months ago, and they took him he took them under his wing, I must say. And they really took care of each other and helping to get the business going and just being friendly to everyone around. And he was a bit of a mentor because he's a very intelligent, soulful person, and he really did help them anytime they needed help. He was always there for them.
The golf cart journeys would turn into discussions about life, Debra's writing, and being kind to one another.
It was always a great conversation. Some were not very long, they were very quick. Others became very deep and sometimes went in very strange places. But that was Benny, and that was what was wonderful about him.
Rudy's Pub, another favorite spot on J Street.
I'll do it anyway, ready?
Yep.
Get closer.
As a matter of fact, the other day I was pulling into work. You forget. It's like I'm just so used to seeing him. And I was pulling down the street and somebody was sitting on the bench on the end, and I'm like, oh no, it can't be him. But I thought it was him,
For I can't help falling in love with you.
Benny would sing and dance to his favorite song on the jukebox.
He loved the music. He loved music.
What was his jam?
What do you mean?
Like what was his one song that really was?
Oh, Gloria. He used to come in and play that song on the jukebox.
Aquí me tiene en el olvido. Estoy dentro de un bar.
I can't say anymore. I'm brokenhearted. I miss his visits. I miss him coming in to see me. I miss having to play his music for him that he wanted on my computer. You gotta know when to fold them. You've gotta know when to hold them. He loved that song over and over and over again. He was just a remarkable human being.
Gallery owner Joyce Brown knew Benny as Harvey.
He was probably the most painted and photographed person around. When he had his long dreads, he was so beautiful that one person after another photographed him, and I know that you saw some of those photographs, but there are hundreds of photographs of him. Every tourist that came to Lake Worth photographed him. He was gorgeous. He was just a gorgeous human being, and broke my heart again when he cut his dreads off because it was so much a part of his personality.
So what do you see right here, and what is he telling you? I'm looking at his eyes. His eyes speak to you.
You know, I don't see the happy, fun-loving person. I see the sadness that we feel now for him, that he's no longer here. But he, to me, was not as sad-looking as this. He was a happy, joyous, effusive, bubbling person with so much laughter and fun to share, that this is the sadness of his death, but not the happiness of his life that I think the rest of us all feel. He was amazing. You know, I'm stumbling now, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But I miss him every day. I miss him every day.
Benny spoke 7 languages, Chinese and French among them.
He learned at the library. He loved languages and he loved to help people, and he did it so that he can translate for people at the hospital.
And with every trip to this little pocket of love, Lola learns something new about her brother.
Just amazing that, like I said, I knew him individually for 6 years, and to just see those big arms and that big hug, it's just special. It was special.
This is his sister.
Don't I look just like him? Thank you. Thank you. I love you. He's smiling.
Of course he's smiling. He's always smiling. I can see those big arms. Bruce! He was special. He was special. He was very special.
I would open the shop in the morning. I got here super early, like 6 a.m., and he would always greet me, called me Nina. I'd be like, Nina, how are you? Now I open the shop, there's no one here to greet me, and it's super sad. Like, I think about him all the time, and definitely a piece of Lake Worth is missing now, because it's super sad. It really is.
Do you know that's his sister?
That's your... Oh, it's nice to meet you. You look like exactly like him. Yes.
You look like Benny. I miss him terribly.
Give you a hug.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Gosh.
Benny brought more than smiles here. He brought peace.
I felt safe when Benny was around. I can't even describe that. You just had a safe feeling when he was around, because he really cared about people and he cared about making a difference for people. And it's just sad. I still can't believe he's gone.
Welcome home.
Benny's family says he had
home, right,
a home.
Herman? He had a home. He had what means like he was not broke, like totally broke. He had a check that came every month, and he could have had a place.
But when he became sick, he wanted to be where he felt at home in the last 7 months of his life.
I'm gonna call the ambulance again.
No, I'm not.
They're gonna take me in and by force do me dialysis.
No, they're not. They say that he needed dialysis, and Benny said, no, I'm not having dialysis. And I told him, I will be with you every step of the way. I will hold your hand. I will be there. Please, Benny, let's do it, because you're too young to die. And the doctors say that you're going to die.
I begged him so many times, please, Benny, you're going to be okay. You're young. You have a chance in life. And he said, no.
That Sunday, when we came in the morning, and you could tell he was struggling, and we called for help, and he refused help probably 3 times throughout that day, and then finally one of the paramedics was able to convince him to get into the ambulance and take a ride to the hospital.
We knew he wasn't going to make it, that it was just a matter of time. So we made a decision to try to please him as much as we could, even though we were in a lot of emotional pain, and we still are. This is very hard, but it was his life, and we respected it.
Benny died on Cinco de Mayo at the age of 55.
Not having him in this world is one of the greatest pains I can imagine. And I have to say, so angry that we couldn't save him, because I watched him get sicker and sicker and sicker, and we all wanted to save him. This whole block wanted to save him.
With his death, there is a real sense not of loss, but of something more.
Benny changed my impression of homeless people in a lot of different ways, because I don't think he was typical, or at least in my opinion, of what I assume most homeless people were like. Benny was very smart.
Some people can look at homelessness as a failure. In this case, I feel Benny lived the way he wanted to live, and no one would put that asunder. He just did exactly what he wanted to do with grace. And I feel that, if anything, how many places could you say someone could live that way in a community and have purpose? He had absolute purpose, and I feel that that was something for his life was a success, because in the end, he had purpose and he brought all these people together to celebrate his life.
You know what? When I come in the mornings now and I don't see him out front sitting in a chair or across the street, or he had for a while set up behind our store, it reminds me how important it is to look out for one another. And it reminds me that you cannot judge someone by looking at them.
With Benny's death, does that add a little more to that?
I think it's been a wake-up call for our community, that we just maybe need to take a step back and ask about one another. Truly ask, not just superficially, but really ask about one another.
Seeing that him passing really, opened a lot of eyes in, I feel, Lake Worth Beach, that it's, the responsibility, or even just the ability to help these people just being pushed on, and, unfortunately people are suffering from it, and we're losing people, and it has to change 100%.
He had a place here, and I think it really opened up people's minds and hearts to saying, there's a person beyond what you see. There really is, and he was the epitome of that, and we all respected that. We respected that this is where he wanted to be.
There would be growth of another kind, a garden in the backyard of the house lounge.
Before we moved in, this was he called this his house, and this was all his house, the little area over there, back here, and he kind of took care of it, kept it clean.
When we got the news that he passed away, we just wanted to commemorate him and keep his energy and his space, honestly, beautiful. So the community came together, and we've been getting donations of plants and things of that sort. He loved everybody, and we loved him, and it hasn't been the same since he hasn't been here. Every day I come out here and walk around and expect to see him come around the corner, and it's very weird, but also you can still sense it. It's kind of beautiful to be able to still sense his energy here. Yeah.
What do you think of that when you hear this?
When I hear that, I just I'm touched. I am emotionally touched about my brother, whose legacy was that giving, never taking, always helping. And this is something that we as a family of Benny want to contribute to, because that's what Benny wanted. And he did this from his heart. He didn't do it because he needed to be homeless. If it was one person that didn't have to be homeless, was Benny. Benny was the only uncle of all our brothers and sisters, and it's a lot of us. I'm the oldest. So this was Benny's heart. And because he loved this so much, we want to continue. And listening to the young man here saying that, I didn't know that. That's what we want to continue doing, and help and chip in to make other people's life better because of Benny.
It made me very proud to have had a brother that had made such a huge impact on our society. And I feel like if the world could only have more Bennys, we'd have a better world.
Reporting from Lake Worth Beach, Gary Detman, CBS 12 News.